Despite our species' long history of ocean travel, the sea remains a mysterious and alluring place to us. More humans have traveled to the moon than to the bottom of the ocean, and our underwater world is so vast that only around 30% of the surface of our planet is above water. In light of this, it is not surprising that many mysteries surround lost vessels, ghost ships, and shipwrecks. In this video, we will count down the 5 most mysterious shipwrecks that are still unexplained. Number 5. The Zebrina. The Zebrina was built in 1873 as a trading vessel, intended to navigate the South American River Plate. She gained a reputation for being a lucky vessel, and in 1873 she was taken to Britain for use in the European coasting trade. In October 1917, the Zebrina set sail from Falmouth with a coal shipment destined for Saint-Brieuc in France. 2 days after the Zebrina departed England, it was spotted off the coast of Loisel in France and had apparently run aground. Salvage and rescue teams found the ship to be in good condition, but found no sign of the crew. Other than some slight disarrangement of the rigging, there was no indication as to why the ship had been abandoned. A commonly proposed theory is that a German U-boat took the crew. However, even after the war, there was no record of this happening. Some feel that after a failed torpedo attack, most likely due to the Zebrina's unusually flat bottom, a U-boat surfaced and forced the 23 crew members to board the submarine. Although no proof has been found, the theory can only be true if the German U-boat also vanished without a trace. No bodies were ever recovered, and we are left with no answers as to what happened to the crew during the 2-day journey. Number 4. The Waran. Also known as the Titanic of the Southern Seas, the SS Waran was constructed in 1908 as a passenger and cargo ship destined to operate between Europe and Africa. On the evening of July 26, 1909, the Waran left Durban in South Africa with her crew and 211 passengers. She was destined for Cape Town, and the ship was to sail west along the coast of South Africa, arriving at her destination 3 days later. At 4 a.m., the SS Waran overtook another vessel, the Clan McIntyre, communicating with the crew via signal lamps as they passed. The Waran was the faster of the 2 ships, and by 9:30 a.m. she had sailed over the horizon and out of sight, never to be heard from again. Soon after the Waran had passed the Clan McIntyre, the weather quickly deteriorated, and it became clear that the Waran had sailed directly into a hurricane. The captain of the Clan McIntyre later attested that it was the worst weather he had seen in his 13-year career as a seaman. There were several other sightings of the ship that may have been the Waran over the next couple of days. On the 27th, a boat saw a steamer producing excess smoke, enough to make the captain think the ship was on fire. As night fell, the lights of the steamer could still be seen until 2 bright flashes were seen, which the captain thought were explosions, after which the lights disappeared. At 9:30 the same evening, the crew of the Union Castle liner passed a ship, but due to poor visibility, they could only make out the last 3 letters of the ship's name, TAH. One more possible sighting came from the diary of a mounted rifleman called Edward Joe Conker, who witnessed a ship struggling in stormy seas and disappear as a huge wave rolled over her. The SS Waran was thought to be unsinkable. As this was 3 years before the ill-fated voyage of the Titanic, people had little reason to doubt it. At the time, it was not uncommon for ships to arrive at their destination much later than planned. So when the Waran failed to reach Cape Town on schedule, it was not seen as a cause for concern. However, soon ships that had left Durban after the Waran started to arrive in Cape Town, and none of them had caught sight of the missing vessel en route. On August 1st, the first search for the ship was launched, but was soon called off due to bad weather. Throughout August, a number of boats reported seeing bodies in the water, but no remains of the Waran had ever been found. Theories about what happened to the ship range from getting caught in a whirlpool to getting hit with a giant wave or cargo shifting, causing her to capsize. However, until the wreck is found, exactly what happened will remain a mystery. Number 3. The Mary Celeste. On November 7, 1872, Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs set sail from New York to Genoa in Italy on the Mary Celeste with his family and a 7-person crew. Yet, on December 5th, the Mary Celeste was found afloat around 400 miles east of the Portuguese archipelago of the Azores. The boat was spotted by the crew of the Dei Gratia, who had left New York 8 days after the Mary Celeste. Knowing that the ship should have already reached Genoa, Captain Davis Morehouse changed course to offer assistance, should it be needed. However, when the boarding party made their way onto the ship, they found her completely abandoned. The ship's log detailed that they had battled heavy weather and were heading for the Azores, and the last entry was at 5 a.m. on November 25th. Below deck, the cargo, supplies of food and water, as well as clothes and belonging, were still in place. However, one lifeboat was missing, and one of the pumps had been disassembled. There was no sign of the 10 people who had been on board, and no clues as to what happened to them. The mystery has captured people's imaginations for centuries, including many filmmakers and the writer Arthur Conan Doyle. There have been many theories about what happened to the Mary Celeste, from the notes of the court case that determined whether the salvagers were entitled to a payment from the ship's insurers. It seems that the authorities may have suspected the crew of the Dei Gratia of foul play, despite a 3-month investigation in which no evidence was found that backed up the theory. Food, water, and cargo were still on the ship, which ruled out pirates. Various crew members were suspected, but none had any criminal background or motive for mutiny or murder. Documentarian Anne McGregor theorizes that the only plausible explanation is that those on board left the ship voluntarily under the captain's order. According to transcriptions of the Mary Celeste log slate, the ship was within sight of the Azores island of Santa Maria on November 25th. 10 days later, the ship was 400 miles east of the Azores. Using historical atmospheric data, McGregor determined that the Mary Celeste might have floated unmanned from its last log position to the point where it was found. McGregor speculates that the captain had given the order to abandon their vessel due to faulty equipment that made him unsure of his position and the ship's seaworthiness. She theorizes that Captain Morehouse thought they would have a better chance of making port in the lifeboat. However, we may never know what really happened to the people aboard the Mary Celeste. Number 2. The Bimo. The SS Bimo was built in Sweden and was a 230-foot-long cargo steamer. She was launched in 1914 under the name SS Angermanelfen. She was used to transport goods between Sweden and Hamburg in Germany and was under German control during the First World War. After the war, when Germany's navy was restricted, she was given to Britain, who changed her name to the SS Bimo and sold her to the Hudson Bay Company. She continued to operate as a cargo ship. She was based in Scotland while spending most of her time in the Arctic, transporting goods along the Canadian coastline. On October 8, 1931, the Bimo became trapped in packed ice. The crew, unable to free her, abandoned the ship with the intention of returning in the summer once the ice had melted. Some crewmen stayed to keep watch over the Bimo, but on October 24th, a massive storm hit, and they were unable to stop her from floating away. A week later, the Bimo was spotted 45 miles away from the crew's camp, again caught in the ice. A team managed to board her, but she was deemed beyond repair and abandoned as a wreck. But the story doesn't end there. The Bimo didn't let being crewless or damaged stop her from continuing to roam the ocean. For nearly 40 years, the Bimo sailed on. Over the years, many caught sight of the Bimo, and some even attempted to capture the ship for salvage. Despite being successfully boarded around 3 times, the SS Bimo could not be reclaimed. How the Bimo was able to stay afloat for that length of time is a mystery, and the last sighting of the SS Bimo was in 1969 when she had once again been caught in ice. While she has not been sighted since, there has been no evidence of her wreckage, prompting some to believe that she may still be out there, eluding human contact. Number 1. The USS Cyclops. The USS Cyclops was one of the largest ships in the U.S. Navy. She had sailed successfully for 8 years before her final voyage in 1918. In March 1918, the USS Cyclops loaded her cargo of manganese ore and started the first leg of her journey home to Baltimore. She was due to stop in Barbados to resupply, and the voyage seemed to be going as planned when a message was received from the ship stating, "Weather fair, all well." But the vessel never made it to Barbados, and neither the Cyclops nor her crew were ever seen again. It was as if the Cyclops had simply disappeared. No distress calls were ever made, and no wreckage has ever washed up. At first, people assumed that a German U-boat had sunk her, but as time passed, and the Germans failed to take credit for sinking the Cyclops, it seemed unlikely that there were even German crafts in the area at the time. Many have cited the mysterious effect of the Bermuda Triangle for the loss of the USS Cyclops, and more wild theories include alien abduction or sea monster attack. The ship's captain, George W. Worley, came under suspicion, as crew members claimed he was a drunk and unsuitable captain months before the Cyclops' final voyage. The most logical explanation seems to be that a series of mechanical failures, coupled with the ship's heavy cargo, destabilized the vessel, which may have been hit by a large wave causing the boat to capsize unexpectedly. Should the Cyclops have been over the Puerto Rico Trench at the time, the wreck would be irretrievable. The official statement from the U.S. Navy asserts, "The disappearance of this ship has been one of the most baffling mysteries in the annals of the Navy. All attempts to locate her have proved unsuccessful." What did you think of our list? Do you know of any unexplained shipwrecks you think we should have included? Let us know in the comments below. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. To learn more about history, check out our Captivating History book series, available as ebooks, paperbacks, and audiobooks. If you found the video captivating, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.